Broadcasting from the creation of time to the end of the world. Buckle up, baby. This ain't your grandma's Christian show. It's time to get down and dirty on Change for That.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Change for That. I'm Chester Proctor.
I'm Kurt Tootle.
And I'm your favorite, Sedrick Thrower.
Man,
I think he is the favorite.
I don't
really
think
am.
so.
Yeah. I really am.
I know at least I'm
listeners.
at least one person's favorite.
Two.
Miss Brenda.
Miss Betty.
Miss Betty.
I'm Brenda's
And
favorite.
Brenda.
You're Betty's favorite. I'm Catherine's favorite. My mom.
Not really.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
I think
Catherine's
I really think if it came down to it.
Well, if it came down to it, she's going to choose me.
Okay,
still.
well, we'll see. we'll see. Mom, she's gonna say, "I love all you boys equally."
You sound like Mrs. Doubtfire.
I auditioned for that.
Oh, did you really?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know.
Hello.
That's pretty good.
But I didn't get it. Hey guys, July 16th. Hard to believe, but we are what? What day is that concert? Is it coming up on?
Fan the Flame is the
it
22nd.
Yeah, but what day is that? Saturday.
That's Saturday.
That's next Saturday.
Yeah,
so
Saturday coming.
Yeah. So this Saturday we're going to be broadcasting live from Fan the Flame. That is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to get to give away some of those prizes that we gave away that people didn't, pick up.
Yeah.
So they've gone back into the basket, except for two things, which I'm supposed to mail to people, and they're like, "Why haven't you mailed that yet?" And I'm like, "Because I'm a busy man."
You are busy, man.
Yeah. So, guys,
There's going to be a bunch of other cool stuff given away there too. Not by us,
but by other people.
Yeah, the Fan the Flame is giving away an iPad at the end of the night.
Yeah,
so.
to us.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
I'm
change
gonna
for
win
that.
I'm
No,
gonna
not
win
to
that.
us.
It's going to be good. Unspoken is there, or as I said on the radio a couple weeks ago,
Outspoken.
and also JJ Weeks band is going to be there.
I never heard of them.
Oh man,
You will
you'll-
that night.
You'll hear, yeah. JJ Weeks is loud. They're loud and proud, but not necessarily the way you might be. But they are loud. So why what did you?
I'm sorry. I just found the new Change for That iPhone app.
You mean it's out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm installing it right now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I
got
think
excited.
that was the next thing anyway on the list here. The Change for That app, you can now download it on your iTunes mobile device and or tablet, and I mean probably within the next few days we will be announcing the launch of the Android app as well. The only reason we didn't launch at the same time, and I'll just tell you, is the Android wants one more picture than the iTunes app does. And I had a hard time resizing it, so I had to send it to the company.
Androids are so complicated.
And, well, do you know the picture I used? I used the picture of the three of us standing behind the sign. So
That's pretty cool.
That's right, because that's the only picture of the three of us I have.
We thought about this like a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, we spoke that into existence, didn't we?
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, we'll see. So, and one of the things that is exciting about that, being able to use that, I mean, not exciting, but sad about being able to use that picture. Cedric is like excited. Look at me scrolling through all the episodes, and there's a ton of episodes.
It goes all the way back to
August of 2016. Yeah.
And that's not the first episode. I think that's probably right around the 100th episode, 99, 98, something like that.
That's around the time I joined, I think.
No, it's...
You joined after that, I think.
Yeah, because you did the interview. You filled in for me and went solo one night.
Yep.
And I think that's the bottom one. But something else we're going to be able to do because of the app is we're going to be able to launch weekly promos on the app now.
Oh, really?
So you can get the app promo, and we're not going to launch anymore the show early for our insiders. We're going to ask them to wait to the end of the week because they have access to the app now.
Oh, yeah.
So they can still get it, but we're going to launch it all at the same time on the radio and at the app. Going back to Sundays again, launching everything at the same time so that we can be consistent with that. And but we will be able to launch app-only promos that talk about what's coming up and maybe some special giveaways through the app as well.
Wow, that's awesome.
God is good.
And Fan
all
the Flame.
The time.
Oh, gosh.
And all the time, God is good.
He is, but I hate that saying. Fan the Flame, by the way, made this possible. God used Fan the Flame to make this possible. They are our sponsors for the next year of the app. So anytime we mention the app, we've got to mention Fan the Flame.
Fan the Flame.
Very good. Also, we want to mention, along with the app, brought to you
Fan
by
the Flame.
Fan the Flame. You have to say brought to you by.
Brought to you by Fan the Flame.
We also want to mention the Insiders Group, which is brought to you by Gigi's Landscaping.
Thank you, Gigi's.
Yes, Gigi's Landscaping.
Oh, okay.
You missed this. You weren't here last week.
Okay, so,
Gigi-
Yes, Gigi's landscaper.
I have a feeling you have a question. He's almost said, "Can we stop? Can we?"
This is
Yeah,
the most
I wonder-
confused
I
I've
wonder-
ever seen Cedric.
Because I want to
Wait a minute. He's
going to
start.
Happened
He's going to start.
to-
Oh, their time just ran out.
Oh, okay.
Community Hospice stayed with us as a sponsor of the Insiders for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
But they are still sponsoring us on a radio station in Hazelhurst.
Okay, just making
so they're
sure.
they're still with us. They're still with
Those
us.
guys been good to us.
They have.
you know?
They're still
It's
with
okay,
us.
Rashiki.
And we'll have to find out about your garb as
No,
well.
that's called what's it called? Autocorrect on your phone.
Rashiki?
Yes.
No, that's exactly what I was typing.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
I
Oh,
named-
you did that on purpose?
Oh yeah, because of your garb on Facebook. If anybody follows you, you had your. Is it that African attire?
Oh, you know what? Melissa posted that.
Melissa Williams Apples?
No.
Oh.
Melissa Coleman.
Oh, okay.
She has an African attire shop here in Vidalia.
Really?
And our church did some African themed stuff back in February, and I bought all my stuff. Every Sunday I wore some type of African attire, and she posted pictures. Yeah.
So that's I thought that was like recent.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I mean,
too.
it was February.
Well, yeah,
That's
but I thought it
recent.
was recent, like recenter. So if people want to see that, they can go to your Facebook and see the your. That's why I called you Rashiki.
Or they can go in first. Go in and see it in person.
Go in first.
I mean,
you go in first, and
It's called Senko for Life, right there on McIntosh Street.
Okay, well they didn't sponsor this, so you can't say that.
Well, maybe she could be one of our future sponsors.
Well, find out. You can
Hey,
find
Melissa,
out.
I want you to be a sponsor.
Rashiki is asking. So, but anyhow, exciting because this Gigi's Landscaping stepped up and said that they would be glad to take us into the next. They're going to do it for the next 6 months and
wow.
sponsor the insider groups, which means we're allowed to continue, or we're able to continue to give things away. Well, people don't realize, and we won't go into this in depth, but we have a little bit of overhead with this. Studio costs, production costs, website costs, which we canceled the website, but maybe we. I just realized today that it's on our banner, so we might need to get that back up before it cancels, because
Yes.
it is on the banner that will be
Yes.
waving high out there at Fan the Flame, speaking of. So, but thanks to all of our sponsors, and let us not forget all of our great sponsors on the radio stations around the area that make this possible.
Well, let me ask you this. How about those who may be out there that want to become a sponsor? How would they say, hey, I want to sponsor your show?
Well, first they have to open their mouth, take a deep breath, and go, hey, I want to be a sponsor.
Well, I'm just putting it out
No,
there.
that's great.
Hey, contact us.
If you're interested, you could
Inbox
email us.
Yes, email us.
Well, we don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so we won't say what. But we're actually praying right now and working on maybe another big announcement coming up with
Yes,
Change for
and
That.
we need sponsors.
And a lot, and you guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Sponsors and listeners really humble me when sponsors say, "Hey, we'll be a part of that. We want to be a part of this," like Gigi's did. We want to do this. I mean, every sponsor has said, "Yeah, we'll be a
It's
part
a
of
blessing.
that." And then the listeners that constantly say, "We like the show." We launched in Hazelhurst in February, and we're getting positive feedback from you folks over in Hazelhurst. We've been in Vidalia since almost 3 years now, and we're
That's
still
crazy.
getting good stuff from you Vidalia folks. We've got people listening in Idaho. We got
Yes.
people listening in Florida. We've got people listening up and down the north
In
the
United
coast.
Kingdom.
We've got people listening in the UK. Yes.
London, UK, that same place, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But that's okay.
Well, I mean, not yes and no. It's like
EU?
Georgia and America.
You've
Okay,
just
well.
offended them, so
Anyway,
they're not-
I
You-
do apologize, but I'm going to freshen up on my geographical location.
So I got a question
And
that
my
was
grammar.
texted to me from a listener
Not
in
tested, it's text.
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 The past tense of text would be texted, right?
yes.
No, it's text and text. Check your dictionary. But continue. It's okay.
I have no idea what's going on.
Well, the listener question they wanted to they asked this question, and it was I'm throwing this on you because I didn't send this to you guys this week.
Wait a
to
minute. What
prepare
about
you.
the things that you sent us?
Yeah, we're going to do those, but this question was specifically for you, and it
Me?
was sent to my cell phone from a listener in Idaho
Oh, okay.
who said to me, "Why does Sedrick dislike our president so much?"
Cedric.
It's not that I dislike Donald Trump, okay? Well, yes, it is.
You refer.
No,
you need
it's
to.
just-
You need to refer to him as Mr. Trump.
I mean, no, President Trump, because he is our president. You know, I'm not going to take that from him.
I think that's the first time you've said our president.
Well, the reason why I had to do that because I had to think about all
7
the
months
times-
into it, might as well.
No, I'm thinking about all the times that I would get upset when President Obama was president, and I would hear people refer to him as Obama. They never put a handle on his name.
Yeah,
and
you know-
it really bothered me.
And you know, I
So
along the
I
same
want to
lines,
do it in return.
I can think back to all the times that I used to get upset when he was our president too.
No. So I say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be the bigger person, acknowledge this person for who he is,
Right.
which is the president of the United States. I live here. That makes him my president.
Right.
I'm going to pray for him. I'm going to honor him. I'm going to respect him. But at the same time, if he does some things like he continues to do that I disagree with, I still have the right to disagree with it. And he's making some very foul moves that we can all agree with, right?
No, I don't think so. At the risk of hijacking the show here into a different direction, please give us an example of something that he's done that you don't like.
Everything.
No, an example.
No, everything.
You're buying
he's
into the
done.
rhetoric, aren't you? Because
No. Okay, maybe a little bit. You know, Facebook news is the only news I watch, so
Yeah.
you know, I may be misinformed.
And if you're not no, seriously, and if you're
I'm
not
teasing.
if
I'm
you're not careful, well, honestly,
Well, the
it
thing
is.
that got me, that has me,
Gots me?
that,
You
that
texting?
has me on edge right now is the things that he's doing concerning Russia. You know, the involvement with all that.
You mean
and
where
firing
the
people.
USA Today and these other major left newspapers have come out and have admitted in
Left
their
newspapers?
leftist newspapers
Okay.
liberal newspapers have come out and admitted that there is in fact no evidence yet proving anything about this Russian thing that everybody's been accusing.
Well, that's great news. I'm glad to hear that because you know I don't want that going on.
Here's what I think's happening, and I'm not going to say because I've been the one to say this since the beginning. He is not the kind of guy that I want speaking at my children's graduation. As a Liberty alumni, it is, or am I an alumnus? I guess I'm an alumnus. As a Liberty alumnus, he makes me nervous when he returns to speak at the college up there because of he's Donald Trump. But I'm kind of thankful. Because President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, President Bush, President Reagan, maybe not Reagan so much. It's hard for me to say because I was so young, but I am thankful that the first time in my lifetime that I can remember anyway, we got somebody who would speak to the country like I would. Because when you think about it, isn't that what we do on this show right here? We speak our mind, we speak our opinion, and we say if you don't like it, you have a right to disagree. You have a right to be wrong, as Kurt says.
That's true.
Now, I never really knew where President Obama stood on some things. I never really knew where George Bush stood on some things, and so on and so forth back. And you can look. Now, I pretty much knew where Clinton was standing, but I don't know. He was in the Oval Office, but I don't know where. Yeah, that was the reference. I don't know where these guys are standing on a lot of their things, and you fall in love with the charisma of a person like you would maybe Bill Clinton, and then you find out, oh no, he's not really. So you're not going to fall in love with the charisma of Trump because Trump doesn't have any charisma.
You're not going to fall in love with Trump at all,
right?
No,
right.
I'm teasing.
But
the thing is, you are right. You will not be in doubt where he stands,
right?
Because he's going to say it.
And the thing is, and this goes on both sides of this fence, political. If you're listening to too much right-wing conservative radio, conservative television, or you're listening to too much left-wing liberal radio, which I don't know how much that is out there, but liberal television. If you're doing too much of one of those, you will very easily buy in. Sometimes this is what I want to know. I have family members who are very adamant sometimes about their disdain for President Trump. And one of the things that I have not yet asked, but I'm going to, the next time it comes up is, what station do you get the most news from?
Well, honestly, I don't listen to the radio, and I watch very little TV. What I'm getting from
where are you getting it?
When I'm at work and we have the news playing or things of that nature, and maybe conversating one to another, and they tell me something he's done. I'm like,
yeah, and that makes sense.
So
but you have to.
It's not hands on.
But
so
you have to.
That's
ask,
not fair to him.
But you have to But you have to ask the question because a lot of people do get it from other people. They're not watching the news, listening to the radio. They're getting it from other people. They have to ask this question, Kurt. They got to say, where are they getting it from?
Right.
Because if they're getting it from listen, if you watch all Fox, you're going to be leaning more to the right. Although Fox is doing a lot of left leaning these days, but you're going to lean more to the right. If you're sitting there watching all NBC, you're going to lean to the left. If you listen to all Rush Limbaugh, you're going to lean to the right. Those guys are unapologetic about NBC and whatever. But that's the way they do it.
My fear is that he has not changed since the political trail. Now, during that time, I was watching very closely because I wanted to make an informed decision when I voted. So what I'm hearing is that nothing's changed. It's the same old Trump. But what I'm hoping is that those who he positioned in power, put in a position of power, that they are making some sound decisions, hopefully.
See, here's what concerns me more than anything. He can do so much, but like this issue of, he tweeted recently.
See, that's the issue. I hate
see,
all
not
that.
for me.
I hate all that.
Not for me, because he's the first president to get out there and say, listen, if you attack him...
But see, his words carry weight.
They do.
He has to be very careful.
He does, but if you attack him, he's the first president in my lifetime that's going to attack back.
And you think that's good?
Yeah, because you know what? You know why? Okay, watch this. If somebody stands up and makes a racist comment, should they not be called out?
He ain't gonna say it.
Not about him. I'm talking to anybody. If somebody stands up and they say something that's wrong,
the expectation is different for the president of the United States, just like it is for pastors. If we were to get on our Facebook, if we were to get on our Twitter and start, going back and forth with a pew member or a congregant or somebody in the community, going back and forth, that's not going to shine.
But is that a leader? Is that a leadership thing or is that a Christian thing?
I think it's both.
Okay, and I'll grant you that.
As a Christian, we shouldn't do certain things.
I'm not
As a leader, we shouldn't do certain things. We're held to a higher standard.
Okay, but what about all these times when people throw accusations out and the person who's being accused looks guilty because they never defend themselves?
That is different.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I will grant. Let me say this.
It's the way you do it, though. It's the way of doing everything.
Let me make it clear. I will grant you that every tweet the president has tweeted is not going to be on my approved tweet list.
He need to have one of his staff members review his tweet, and decide whether or not he needs to.
But I'm tired of the spineless stuff we see in leadership. Whether it's a principal or whether it's a superintendent or a pastor or a president or whatever, we've got a lot of spineless people that are in leadership roles that let other people just walk all over them. How many pastors let deacons walk all over them when that's not the order of the Bible?
I'm glad Donald Trump has a spine. I am. As a president, you need to have a spine. But there's times where you need to determine, is this a time where I need to use this spine, or is this a time where I need to be spineless?
You won't have Well, I think it comes down. Let me put it this way, because I agree with you, but I don't agree with that. How you said that. It comes down to a filter.
Yes,
it comes down to a filter. It comes down to a filter, but you got to have a filter because I can't. There's a way you can say it, and I agree with you. I understand what you're saying.
Because the thing is, we all have the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
President Trump has the right to say whatever he wants to say. We have the right to say whatever we want to say. But what we must all acknowledge that there's consequences depending on what we choose to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And they're going to be different for a leader versus.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm completely agree with you.
He's no longer Donald Trump.
And that's why it comes down to a filter. But I am glad of this, and we got to take a break, and we'll let Kurt take us into that break because people think he might have.
Betty.
People think he died on the show, but what I'm glad is that we have a person who, although he takes it too far sometimes, is not going to let you push him.
So you admit he takes it too far?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's no doubt in my. That's why I say I would not approve all his tweets because I, as a pastor, would like to get on the radio or get up in the pulpit, and there are certain times I want to say things a certain way that I know better than to say.
You know better because of who you are. But see, here's the thing. I think that he's missing. I think that he's missing the aid of the Holy Spirit.
Well, I was going to say he supposedly, and whether he did or didn't, I hope he did, but whether he did or didn't, he supposedly got saved recently. Towards the. I think right after the election, maybe.
He said he was a Christian before. I mean, so he entered in on a lie. Okay.
How many people thought they were a Christian before they got saved? Though?
Yeah, I mean, there's people running around right now saying I'm Christian.
Look at me crazy. You've never seen that?
Come on.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. You're right. Okay. There are times where we assume others. I'm talking about self.
Yeah.
I've never assumed that I was a Christian before I gave my life to Christ.
I dare say there are tons
I
of
do
people
too.
in
Yeah.
church right now
I've
that think they're
assumed
Christians and
looked
aren't.
at other people and thought they were Christians, and then one day they come and give their life to Christ, and I'm like, whoa.
No, I mean,
You know,
I'm not denying
but
that
me
happened.
myself, when I wasn't a Christian, I knew I wasn't a Christian.
I bet you, though, there are a lot of people who believe they're Christian because they grow up in the Bible Belt and they believe that God exists.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me change this. Let me change it.
We got 15 seconds.
Because there's a difference in being a Christian and being, saved. So go ahead.
Okay, we're going to have to come back and rip that part up in just a minute. Because we're going to have to let you clarify that
I said it that way on purpose.
as
Now,
we
come
come
on
back. All right, we'll be back for a minute. Stick around.
Change for that. We'll be right back.
This internet broadcast is brought to you commercial-free by GG's Landscaping.
Back to the show. Change for that.
You know, one of these days, I'd like for somebody to just be able to sit in here and record what goes on in the 2 minutes that we're in commercial breaks.
There's a lot of good stuff in there.
There's a lot of interesting conversations.
It's when I actually, use language that's inappropriate, telling Chester how I really feel about him.
When you repent.
And then I repent.
And then you repent.
Yes.
So, Kurt, you were saying some stuff during the break that kind of goes along or in response to what you said. And if folks are just joining us, Sedrick, you were saying... you want to say that again?
Well, what I was saying is, there are people who carry the title Christian, but they're not saved.
Okay. No, what you said was...
I said you could
be a Christian and not be
and
saved.
Not be saved.
Yeah.
Well,
what you
was
said
trying
was
to say,
cause theologians
people.
all over to drive off the road.
Well, I said that to get their attention.
Okay, well, it
to
did.
come back.
Okay.
And what I'm meaning is there are people who may carry the title of Christian, but they're not saved.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Dynamite drop in there, Kurt.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was silent during that whole
first
debacle, the first half of the show between you two was, to be honest, I'm just so sick and tired of talking about President Trump.
Well, me too. I'm
And
tired of talking about him. I'm tired of him.
You mentioned... No, but listen, I'll speak to that in a second. But, Chester, you mentioned that you were tired of black people hating Donald Trump because he's white.
Yeah, I said that during the break.
Yes.
I wasn't going to admit that, but I said that.
Well, you said that during the break. And,
right.
And I'll say that I was tired of white people hating President Obama because he was black.
And I applaud it.
And can I jump in and say, not only do I agree with you, but what I said was not a racist statement.
No, not
and
at
what
all.
Kurt said was not a racist statement. These are
Yes,
facts.
it was.
These are... What?
I agree with Kurt, and it was racist. No, I'm just playing. No, it wasn't.
People got to realize these are facts, and we cannot be afraid of facts. And you know what we need to do? We need to stand up and we need to speak the facts and speak the truth. And you know what? That's why I like Trump.
You can't. The thing is, you can't be afraid. You got to be able to speak the way you feel without, being afraid that I'm offending you with my feelings.
Yeah.
This is how I feel. No, as long as I'm not attacking you, Chester, saying, I hate you. I hate you.
Yeah.
I shouldn't hate anybody.
Right.
I'm saying you should be able to speak your mind without somebody wanting to attack you for it.
I don't need to believe. Here's what's important. I'm not saying that Sedrick feels the way he does because he's black any more than I feel the way I do because I'm white.
No, but I do.
But what I do is I'm saying that there are people who have felt that way, and I think, and you talk to people who don't know why they're angry, but they're just angry. On either side of that, you find out very quickly.
Ask me if I dislike people who like Trump.
Do you know? Well, I know you don't.
No,
I know you like
not at
people.
all.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have the right to like whoever.
That's right.
Vote for whoever. I have nothing against you. If you agree with every one of his points, it does not deter my feelings for you.
And let me just take it one step further.
It's personal.
I'm tired of white people who only like Trump because he's white, and black people only like Obama because he's black.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the reason why I like Obama.
I understand that.
But the reason why I like Obama is probably not the things that he did in the White House, honestly. I just like, the fact that he's successful on his own right.
Right.
He's a family man. He's respectable,
Hey, I'm all for it.
Moral things that
I am all
just
for
really
a
like.
black man living the American dream.
Yeah.
And a black woman living them. I'm all for that.
Yes.
I'm all for everybody trying to live the American dream.
Yes.
However, that I'm never going to be in the White House,
So.
but unless I'm taking a tour. But I'm all for that. I'm excited about that. That's great. And I tell you something else. And I said this on Facebook when President Obama, his final speech, his farewell address. To me, he sounded he was more relaxed. He was more real. He was more presidential.
He was on his way out.
He was. And that's true. But I connected with the former president, in his farewell speech.
Yeah,
better than I did in the rest of the
You
time.
felt good about him going out.
No, that's not why I connected
Yes,
with
it
him.
is.
No, it's not.
Kurt, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
can you agree that it would be easier to respect Donald Trump as President Trump if I could respect him as a man first?
Yes.
I think that's what made it easier for. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ask your question and then
Rhetorical. Kurt, don't
Yeah,
go ahead.
one word in, and that was it.
Yes.
But here's the problem with both sides. There, with President Obama, there were people that just refused to even acknowledge him, give him any respect, even when the man did something right.
Right.
It was just flat out no. And there's the same people doing that today to President Trump. You know, because of
they're
what,
different people, but I understand.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the same type of
Same
attitude is
attitude.
what I'm saying. So I understand if you don't like his policies or if you don't like him as a person. But what you said earlier is key. You've got to be willing to pray for him and give him a chance.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm going to do that.
So let's bring this to, because we're pushing up on the end of the show, believe it or not, let's bring this to close because this is a biblical show. And here's what I want to make sure, and I get you guys to finish up and sound off on this. The problem that I have is if you fall into one of those categories where you are allowing your emotions and your prejudgment of a situation that you really don't know what's going on in detail to form your opinion on a person like that, and you're a believer, true Christian believer, you are living in sin, my friend.
That's right.
And that's where the problem is.
That, yeah.
That's where the problem is.
Because as a believer, you still have to have room to love the person,
Right.
in spite of
Right.
what they say or do, and be willing to pray that God will touch their heart in a way that will please him. Not please me,
Right.
but please him. Because all I know, God, the fact is God is allowing everything that he's doing.
That's right. That's right. That's
So
true.
I have to say, I have to come to the conclusion that I have to accept what God allows because it's for a reason.
He's either allowing us to head downhill or
So
he's
that we
giving
can
us,
turn back to him,
that's right.
maybe.
Or so that he can usher in the end of the world.
And Donald Trump is Antichrist. Yes. They said it was President Obama,
You
but
just-
he
Too bad we don't have time to talk about all the liberals that out there that want to say all these terrible things about the president that
I'm not liberal, though.
You're not. I'm not talking about you.
It's just Donald Trump. He just rubs me the wrong way. But, I love the guy as I should, and I do pray for him. Believe it or not, I pray for him and all people that's in leadership positions.
See, and if you go back and you pull sermons from back when President Obama was in office, I stood in our pulpit and I said, if you're not praying for the President of the United States, you are cheating yourself out of a blessing and you're disobeying God.
That's right.
You don't have to agree with the policy. In fact, if you don't agree with the policies, what more reason to
You
pray?
need to pray harder.
Yeah, because you either need a heart change or the president needs a heart change.
That's
And I
right.
got news for you. President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton, President Reagan, President Carter, President Trump. They all need more Jesus because we all need more Jesus.
Amen.
So we need to make sure we remember that. Hey, check us out online, Facebook, Become an Insider, brought to you by Gigi's Landscaping. And, of course, download the new app for your mobile phone, brought to you by
Change for that.
Fan the Flame.
Nah, fan the flame. I'll just mess with you. Fan the flame.
And next week on the show, we're going to talk about the Claim It. We were going to do it today, but we got off on this, so that's okay, though. We're going to talk about Claim It, Name It, and whether that is biblical. So until next time, join us right here, and we'll see you on Change for That.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Change for That. We'll catch you next time.